The world worships money. It bows to wealth, mistakes it for wisdom, calls it proof of intelligence. But Nietzsche saw through that illusion, saw that riches often mask a hollow core. Not always, but often. Because the more money you have, the easier it becomes to avoid yourself. Most people think wealth is freedom, but for many, it becomes the perfect distraction. Why face your fears when you can buy comfort? Why confront your weakness when you can outsource strength? Why develop depth when status does all the talking? Nietzsche understood. External abundance often hides internal emptiness. When all your needs are met by things, you stop needing to grow from within. You trade becoming for appearing. You become defined by what you have, not who you are. And the world enables it. It praises the flashy over the wise, the rich over the real, the influencer over the thinker. And in doing so, it creates a strange paradox. Those with the most often know themselves the least. This isn't a hatred of money, it's a warning. Because when wealth becomes your identity, you stop building character. You build an image. And the moment the image shatters, what's left? Nietzsche believed there are two types of morality, one built by those in power and one built by those beneath it. And when the rich rewrite the rules, morality becomes a mirror, reflecting not what's good, but what protects their image. He called it master morality, where might makes right and success justifies itself. If you win, you're good. If you lose, it's your fault. Kindness is weakness. Empathy is a flaw. And greed? It becomes ambition. The wealthy often adopt this mindset, not overtly, but subtly. It's in the language. If I made it, anyone can. Poor people just don't work hard enough. It sounds like confidence, but it's fear. Fear of losing the illusion that they earned everything alone. Slave morality, by contrast, comes from the oppressed. It values humility, care, sacrifice. But Nietzsche didn't idealize this either. He saw it as reactive, often built from resentment. His point wasn't to pick sides, it was to expose the machinery. When the rich define virtue, everything becomes about maintaining their position. Selfishness becomes strategy. Exploitation becomes entrepreneurship. And soon, entire systems are built around protecting the few, while blaming the many. It's not that all rich people are villains. It's that power without self-awareness corrupts. Every time. Because when you control the story, you can make anything sound noble, even cruelty, even greed, especially greed. Nietzsche didn't believe suffering was a curse. He believed it was a teacher, the forge where character is built, clarity is earned, and meaning is born. And when you remove discomfort from life, you don't just remove pain, you remove growth. Wealth makes it easy to escape struggle. And that's exactly the problem. The richer you get, the easier it becomes to live padded, insulated from difficulty, from hunger, from the pressure that forces you to evolve. The body gets softer. The mind dulls. The soul forgets what it came here to do. Luxury replaces labor. And soon, even the smallest inconvenience feels unbearable. Nietzsche warned, comfort breeds cowardice. When life becomes too easy, people lose the will to challenge themselves. They stop seeking the truth and start curating their reality to avoid it. But strength isn't born from ease. It's forged in friction. The will to power, Nietzsche's highest ideal, comes not from owning everything, but from overcoming everything. So when wealth becomes a substitute for adversity, it also becomes a trap. Because without struggle, you might feel secure, but you'll never feel alive. Society confuses noise for insight, applause for value, wealth for wisdom, and nowhere is that more visible than in the way we glorify the rich. But Nietzsche saw through it. He knew that true greatness wasn't measured in numbers, it was measured in depth, in the strength to think independently, in the courage to live authentically, in the ability to create, not consume. And most of the rich? They aren't creators. They're curators, performers, brand managers. They've mastered the art of being seen, but not the art of being real. We mistake status for substance because the world runs on image. A carefully filtered life, a polished resume, a story of hustle and triumph. But strip away the optics and what's left? Fear, conformity, the constant pressure to maintain what they've built. Not because it's meaningful, but because it's admired. Nietzsche didn't care how much you owned. He cared whether you had the courage to be original. and that kind of courage can't be bought. It must be chosen, over and over again. So the next time you see someone celebrated for their wealth, ask yourself, do they move like someone who's free, or just someone who's trying to look like they are? Because mediocrity in disguise is still mediocrity, even if it wears gold. Nietzsche saw the true creator as sacred, not the one who imitates, but the one who births new forms, new values, new meaning. And nothing suffocates that sacred force faster than comfort and excess. Because true creativity isn't born from having everything. It's born from needing to speak, to express, to transcend. But the richer you become, the harder it is to risk. Why challenge the system that rewards your obedience? Why create something real when replicas are safer and sell better? That's what happens when art becomes a product, when self-expression becomes a brand, when vision is filtered through market demand. The edges get smoothed, the truth gets softened. Originality dies quietly, replaced by what's profitable.